welcome to See the Invisible Stuff. That's the name of the YouTube channel. See the Invisible Stuff spelled just like that. Check the videos out, like, and subscribe. Let's talk about hashtag 21 consent. Hashtag 21 consent, when you get down to it, is about adults dating adults and teenagers dating teenagers. Because in this nation, the United States, it's legal for an adult to date a teenager. 16 in most states, 17 in some, 18 in another. Common denominator, teen. Legal. If you have a teenager, you have nieces and nephews, any teenager that you care about, a 30-year-old, 35-year-old, 40, however old, an adult, male, female, can come and date them, can come and pick them up, and that's really, you can do nothing about it. It's legal. You can't call the police because they'll tell you it's legal. It's legal. It's just been normalized. It's been overlooked, but it's really not legit. It's not. It's unfair. The teenager is at a huge disadvantage. Mentally, the teenager mind is not like the adult mind. They don't have the mental capacity of an adult, and it's easy to manipulate them. I remember this stuff happening when I was in high school. Guy whom I had graduated 2 or 3 years ago, he 21, rolled around the school, picking up teenagers. They were easily impressed by him. The reason why is because they have the mind of a teenager. They don't have them adult responsibilities. They're not thinking about things that adults are thinking about. And here's a person who was in that tween age. That tween age is what I like to call that 18 to 21 age. In that 21, 20th age, 21 would be like that early adult, just entering adulthood stage, so to speak, right? And he has some adult life experience. He's more mature than he was in high school, and naturally he's older, so his mind is more developed. And he was able to just have his way with him. Just like an adult would be able to have their way with it, because it's a teenager versus an adult. Clear disadvantage. I think that there needs to be an age structure when it comes to this. There should be, I think it should start at 22 years of age, and I think there should be what I call 2 years of grace, 2 year grace period, right? First and foremost, let me talk about why it should be 21. Because some people say, why 21? Why not 25? People who push back on it, why not 30? Why not 30? If you want to, for the sake of debate, you can go all the way up to 100, right? But you have to start somewhere. And the fact of the matter is, I think 21 is a good age to start, right? And this is why. Take, for example, when you're in this country, the United States, up until 18 years old, you're still in school. Up until 18 years old, your parent have to legally provide for you and take care of you. You can't do certain things in this country until you're 18, right? And it's not like once you turn 18 years old, you magically have the mind of an adult, and adult life experiences just get downloaded into your DNA, and ta-da, you got an adult now. No, you're still a child, right? And that 18 to 21, like I say, that's them tween years. That's when you get to, okay, you're not in school no more. Okay, you can legally get out on your own. You may even go away to school, which is, being on your own, you're getting some adult life experience. You start to do adult things. And when by the time you hit the age of 21, you got some adult experience under your belt to some degree. I'm not saying that, you're just mature as a 40-year-old, but you got some years of, living as a tween on the verge of the beginning stages of being an adult. And of course, naturally, your mind is more developed. You're more mature than you were back when you were a teenager once you hit 21. This is how I think the age structure should be set up. Starting at 22. A 22-year-old can date anybody 21 on up, because 21 would be the legal age of consent. And I think the lowest a 22-year-old should be able to date is a 20-year-old. Now, I know being 20 would be under the age of consent. And this is why I think a 22-year-old should be able to date a 20-year-old. Like I said, the 2 years of grace, right? 2 year grace period. Let's say you have somebody who got married at 19 and they married a 20-year-old at 19. When that 20-year-old turns 21 and that 19-year-old turns 20, the marriage would be illegal even though they're only 1 year apart. Because the legal age of consent would be 21. That's why I think there should be a 2-year grace period. And that 2-year grace period at this point, between the 20 and the 22-year-old, is not that big of a mental advantage, because you're dealing with somebody who's right on the verge of the early adulthood stage, or somebody who just hit the early adulthood stage. And the older you get, the lesser that mental advantage becomes when people have age differences. And the younger you get, the bigger the mental advantage becomes when people have an age difference. And I'll talk about that a little later. But I think it should be 2-year grace period. Like I say, a 21-year-old can date anybody 21 on up. Lowest, 19. When you're 20, high side, 22, low side, 18. 19-year-olds, high side, 21, low side, 17. 18-year-olds, high side, 20, low side, 16. 17-year-olds, high side, 19, low side, 15. 16-year-olds, low side 14, high side 18, and 15-year-olds, high side 17, low side 13. And after that, each state should handle things accordingly. I think if anybody stretch that, a teenager stretch that past the 2-year mark, and it's 3 or more, the state should handle that how the state see fit. And I know some people would say, well, we're dealing with all teenagers. What's the issue with a 17-year-old dating a 14-year-old? For the same reason why even the government acknowledges that 17-year-olds and 14-year-olds are not even allowed to do some of the same things. You wouldn't let a 14-year-old get a driver's license, but 17-year-olds can drive. 17-year-olds can get certain jobs. Some 14-year-olds might not be able to even get a job yet, period. Because there's a maturity level. Like I say, the younger you are, the bigger that mental advantage get, that maturity level get between people of different ages. And that's why a teenager isn't just a teenager. There's a difference between somebody in their early teens, 13, 14, and somebody in their late teens, 18, 19, or 17. Another thing that I would like to point out, speaking about the mental disadvantage as the age lesson, give an example. Let's say you have someone who's only the age of 1. They will have a huge mental advantage on a newborn. A 3-year-old will have a huge mental advantage on a 1-year-old. And a 5-year-old who's in kindergarten and going to school will have a huge mental advantage on a 3-year-old. Right? This is why you can offer a 7-year-old some candy and lure them away. But you can't offer a 17-year-old some candy to lure them away. But you can offer a 17-year-old $40, $50 in an outfit or some sneakers and lure them away. But you can't offer that 27 or that 37-year-old that, because that 27 and 37-year-old, they already got adult responsibilities. They're already thinking like an adult. They'll ask you, what could you do for my mortgage payment? I have bills. I have a car note. What are we doing? I'm looking for a spouse. See, a teenager don't have those responsibilities. A teenager not thinking like that. That's why the old dude who I was talking about from high school can come around there and just hit him with that little $40, buy him a pair of shoes, and that was that. They're not thinking like an adult. You know why? Because they can't, because they're teenagers. Plus, they're not adults. So they don't have those responsibilities. That's why adults need to just date adults. And teenagers need to date teenagers. I mean, it sounds, like I say, it sounds like a no-brainer. Why isn't it like that? And it's not too late for it to be like that. It doesn't have to stay like this. You, me, people who feel as though, hey, this needs to change. Teenagers are at disadvantage because they are being taken advantage of, being preyed upon. It's an easy way for a predator to just have his way. He can legally do it. When something legal, it's easy to do. You don't have to plot, plan, try to be discreet. You can just go and do it. If you want to prey on a teenager, it's okay to do it to people because it's legal. Now, you can do it. Imagine that. Imagine something that's illegal that somebody always wanted to do being legal. In this case, it actually is. And it should change, and it needs to change. And don't take for granted your part in helping it to change. Talking about it, spreading the word. Share the video, share the hashtag 21consent. Post it. Post the video, share it, encourage others to do the same. Because the more people that get behind it, the more the message gets spread. That's the more momentum can build up behind the movement. You can be the legs, you can help be the part of the foundation of what caused this change to take place. And it's an important change. We're talking about the youth. We're talking about teenagers, right? And teenagers need to be protected from themselves sometimes, like I said. You know, they're capable of getting into some adult situations, but they're not capable of thinking like an adult and don't have that adult life experience. They need protection. And as a society, it's on us to protect people, to protect the youth when they need to be protected. And in this case, this is a situation where they need to be protected and things need to change. So help make that change happen.